day. We played like crap for most of the game, and we did some good offensive things in the second game. But I mean, we pitched and played just horrendous defense all day. And you know, obviously get the 2 home runs to start off the game. Everything's kind of going well, but we just walked and hit too many guys. We gave up a bunch of 0-2, 1-2 hits that were right down the middle. We couldn't be able to put guys away. Obviously, defensively, we made just a bunch of errors. Again, the errors, they don't even the number that's posted on the board doesn't even count the amount of errors that we made mentally or just things that we just didn't do very good. It was embarrassing. So just apologize to the Skinners that we put Joe's jersey on and played like that today. So it's the frustrating thing too is that we've been playing so much better and playing so well and really making strides and really felt like we turned the corner for the finish line here to finish well these last 4 weeks and to come out and just again, I told the kids, like, we judge ourselves against the standard, and so the standard in the second game, we won the game, but like we fell short of the standard, and in the first game we fell way short of the standard. So we talked about it all week about playing well against East Carolina, and now putting ourselves, again, the Ole Miss, the East Carolina weekend, like showing everybody how good we can be and how well we can play and setting that bar and then having to go up and play against that bar. Can we play that way every time? And I didn't do a good enough job. So not good.
Coach, you think, just kind of like the different schedule, you're not playing midweek games. I mean, it's not an excuse, obviously, but just kind of the weird, you punch, 4 games in a short period of time, and you kind of have that week off. Does that kind of affect the rhythm a little bit, or?
I don't know. I mean, we inter-squatted. We did the same thing we did last week, and we played well. And I mean, again, if it was just us, maybe you feel like you're at a disadvantage, but everybody's doing it, and we got to be tougher than the other team, and we got to be able to show up every single day and play to the level that is expected, not by me, but by one, the people that will come before us, and then 2, by what we have said as a group. And that didn't happen. So I don't think it has anything to do with it. We just looked poorly coached and played really bad.
So the second straight week, Colton Gordon doesn't start. I know he's been dealing with some things. Do you have a status update on him?
Yeah, Colton's out for the rest of the year. He'll be having surgery next week.
Are you able to say what the surgery will be on, or is that something that can't be divulged at this time?
He'll be having Tommy John surgery. He tore his UCL, so he's out for the foreseeable future. Big blow, but again, we talked about it all week. Next man up, and we beat East Carolina without him. Like, obviously, it's not what we wanted. We want Colton on the mound and all that, and he's been a big part of our team and whatnot. But we didn't need one guy to step up. We needed the entire team to step up, and just like we did last week. I thought the guys did a great job last week of stepping up in his absence, and Ben Vesby and Hunter and Jack, obviously, just did a great job. And again, we didn't get great starting pitching in those first 3 games. We really zapped the bullpen and put some pressure on us, and Jack stepped up, and we were able to do a lot of great things without Colton in the lineup. So, he's going to be sorely missed, obviously, for the rest of the year. Again, we've proven that we can win without him too. And we've done it all year without guys and without Kenny in the beginning of the year. And, AJ missed a week, and, obviously with all the injuries we had offensively with Archer and Brait and Pablo and Pena and Romano, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we got enough talent to play well without one guy, or whatever the case is. So he'll be sorely missed, but that's definitely not the reason why we lost today.
How much of a gut punch is that for Colton, though, for a guy who's meant so much to your program the last 2 years, was getting pro looks, scouts coming out to games to watch him? I mean, that's really tough for him.
Yeah, it sucks. I feel horrible for him. It was tough pill to swallow this week. I think for me and Nick, and obviously for Colton, I think he's handled it unbelievably well. You just feel for the kid. He's worked so hard to have, be told he can't pitch in the SEC to being able to go to a junior college and then come here and just dominate and really put himself in a good spot to make some money and to really get off on the right foot as a pro, and just being the leader of the staff and just the preparation that he puts in, like how much he cares, how much harder he's worked, how much he's put his body in a good position. It just sucks. I mean, it's tough to see it as a coach, to see somebody work so hard. And, you try to tell the kids all the time that hard work doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't mean that things are going to go the way you want them to. And this, unfortunately, is just a classic case of doing everything the right way. He's a great teammate, a great worker. He does everything you'd ask. He's a coach's dream. Cares. When he's not pitching, he's on the top step trying to help the team find a way to win, whether that's through just bringing energy or trying to pick stuff up, just a coach's dream. And you just feel bad for those type of kids that have bad things happen to them. And unfortunately, in this world, bad things happen to good kids and good people. So hopefully a learning lesson for all of us, not to take things for granted and understand that, you can do all the right things, and doesn't guarantee that things are going to go all your way. And you got to be able to, and again, I don't know if I was 21 years old or 22, whatever Colton is, and something like that happened to me, if I'd handle it as well as he has. And so I think, just you say all these good things about him, and there's just another thing to add to the table in terms of handling adversity. And, to get that kind of news at this time of year and right, so close to the end and all that kind of stuff. And again, the first thing out of his mind was, man, I feel like I let the team down, and, I want to pitch this weekend and help us win and finish this off the way we felt like we were in a direction to do it. And, it's just the perfect team guy, again, the coach's dream, and you feel bad for him.
Can I ask about the offense tonight? Because between game 1 and game 2, one thing I noticed is how the offense managed to be more productive in game 2. What changed between both games in terms of that?
You're not down 10 runs. That'll help. Obviously we got off to a good start in the first inning of the first game, offensively, the 2 home runs. And, we just couldn't string together quality at bats. And it's tough when you get down runs. You get guys that want to try to make it all up in one swing. But, the second game, we just had put together more quality at bats. We have 2 outs, nobody on, 1-2 count. Crouch is up, fights and competes and gets a walk with 2 outs. Then McCabe walks, and then Pena hits the 3-run homer. So when you have 2 outs, nobody on, and down 1-2 count, you feel a lot of times you feel like the inning's already over before the inning is over. And, we talk a lot about playing till you get 3 outs and finishing innings, whether it's a pitcher or a hitter. And I thought we just did a much better job of stringing those kind of quality at bats together. I thought we got a little bit too much guess in us on that changeup guy, and just kept us off balance. But obviously when you're winning and got a lead and feeling good about yourself, it's a lot easier to hit than when you're down 10 runs and you feel like you got a ways to go to come back. So I thought we did a little bit better job offensively, but I think the score dictated a lot more than maybe anything else.
Coach, still talking about the offense. You guys hit a lot of home runs in those first 2 games. But that second game, you saw the 2 home runs came off, and then it was a little more balanced offense. You got scoring in different ways. Is that something you want to see more of, rather than just relying on the home runs?
But we always talk about being dynamic. We always talk about being able to score different ways. And to be honest with you, the most important runs we scored was in the 7th inning, when we get back-to-back doubles. We manufacture a run. We bunt a guy over and get a sac fly, and those 2 runs end up being the 2 winning runs in the game. So last week we scored a bunch of runs doing different things, bunting and doing things like that. We drag bunted with the bases loaded against ECU to score a run. So we've always, the offensive philosophy that we have and that I want recruiting is to be dynamic and to be able to hit home runs, to be able to steal bases, to be able to move guys over, do little things, bunt. Everybody in the lineup needs to be able to bunt. Just because you just never know. You never know what the situation calls for. You never know what the weather's going to be like. You never know what the opposing pitcher is going to be like. I mean, you're not going to go out and hit 6 home runs in a game against Gavin Williams at ECU. Sometimes when the wind's howling in, it doesn't matter who you're facing. The ball's not going to get out of the ballpark. And so you can't rely on, to me, one thing offensively. You got to be dynamic and be able to do different things. Obviously, we hit a bunch of home runs today. So, but again, the most important runs that we scored were 2 runs off of 2 doubles and then a sac bunt and a sac fly. So we manufactured the last 2 runs that gives us the win. And they were the 2 most important runs. And again, that's what we talk about. We talk about extending leads up 3 runs, and you think, we got this in the bag. Litch is on the mound, or we got Litch in the pen or whatever. And these 2 runs don't mean anything, and but they end up being the most important runs. So we've struggled with that at times. So I was proud of the guys for extending that lead to 5, getting at the end of the day that ended up winning the game for us. So we want to be dynamic and be able to score different ways at all times.
You mentioned how you, in terms of defense, didn't play how the way you wanted. In terms of the stats, you had 7 errors in the second game, which is the most in one game this season from what I've seen. And between the 2 games, 7 of the 22 runs Memphis scored were earned runs. Obviously, this is only halfway through the series. So what would you be able to do with the team in the short term to address this? And then what's something long term that you think about doing with that?
Yeah, I think they changed one of the errors. So I think we have 8 now. And again, we had a couple other plays that got to be made. So, I mean, again, really, there was probably 10 or 11 errors in the game today, and a couple in the first game. So, again, it's uncharacteristic. So, I mean, it's hard to really say we're a poor defending team. Alex Freeland has played a tremendous shortstop for us all year as a freshman. And so for him to make a couple errors tonight, again, unfortunate, not what you want, obviously, and obviously piling that on with other errors. Again, Andrew Brait has been a great defender for us, made some terrific plays after making some really poor plays early in the day and in the game. So, it's just a situation where today I just felt like the snowball started and we couldn't stop it. And it just rubbed off on everybody. And you make some errors. We got to be mentally tough to not let that affect yourself going forward, and also not affect the rest of the team. If somebody else is making errors, you can't be scared. Oh my gosh, I hope I don't get a ball hit to me and I make an error. That's mental game 101 of what we don't do. So again, not that we've been, a top 10 defensive team in the country, but we obviously a much better defensive team than we showed today. So we just got to work hard tomorrow on early work and in BP and stuff and our defensive stuff. And then be able to, told the kids at the end of the game, at the end of the day, the best thing about today was that it's over. So we got to come out tomorrow and, get back to what we do well. But that's just about the process and about our mentality and all that kind of stuff before the game and just go out there and play the game. So again, not that that was totally uncharacteristic, but it was severely uncharacteristic in terms of, making 7 errors in one game or 8 errors in one game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.